Day 73. The Pacific is trying to kill us. Waves slam the raft. Water pours over the deck. We're 2,000 miles from anywhere. But to understand how 6 men ended up fighting for their lives on a pile of sticks, we need to go back. Everyone believed it was impossible to cross the Pacific on a wooden raft. Everyone except one man, Thor Heyerdahl, and he was about to gamble 6 lives to prove the world wrong. Imagine an academic dinner party in 1947, glasses clinking, laughter echoing, and Thor being mocked. Ancient South Americans reaching Polynesia? Impossible, they sneered. But Thor had seen things they hadn't. Stone carvings in Polynesia that matched Inca designs, plants that originated in Peru, thriving thousands of miles away. The experts wouldn't listen to words. So Thor decided to show them with his life. Thor wasn't reckless. He was a trained anthropologist. He spoke Polynesian languages. He had lived among the islands. But sometimes being an expert means you see patterns no one else wants to see. Sometimes it makes you dangerous. Sometimes it makes you right. To prove his theory, he had to build a raft exactly as the ancients would have. 9 balsa logs tied with hemp rope, a bamboo cabin, palm fiber sails, no nails, no engine, no steel. Think about the last time you were on a boat when a wave hit. Now imagine that boat is just a pile of sticks, and you're going to live on it for 3 months. Sharks below, for 1,000 miles of ocean ahead. This was madness. And yet, Thor wasn't going alone. The crew, 6 men with 6 reasons to risk death. Knut Haugland and Torstein Rabi, resistance fighters who had survived Nazi interrogation. Eric Hesselberg, an artist who had never sailed beyond a harbor. Herman Watzinger, an engineer who calculated their odds of survival at almost 0. And Bengt Danielson, a sociologist desperate for meaning after the war. These weren't thrill seekers. They were haunted men searching for something bigger than themselves. April 28, 1947. From Callao, Peru, the Kon-Tiki drifted into the Pacific. Crowds cheered. Cameras flashed. 6 men waved from the deck of a raft that looked more like firewood than a vessel. And then the smiles disappeared. Day 3. The raft was falling apart. Ropes stretched. Logs separated. Water surged through gaps wide enough to swallow an arm. It looked like the ocean had won. But then something remarkable happened. The balsa swelled. The gaps closed. The raft healed itself. Naval engineers later confirmed it. Waterlogged balsa becomes nearly unsinkable. The ancients knew this. Modern science had forgotten. Life aboard was brutal. Fresh water rationed to drops. Food scraped from the sea. Flying fish that leapt aboard. Sharks carved into meat. The sun blistered their skin. Nights froze their bones. And then the shadows came. Hammerheads, circling, testing. Their blunt heads slammed the logs again and again. The men slept with knives in hand, waiting for the next attack. But the greatest test wasn't beneath them. It was above. Day 57. The storm. 40-foot walls of water. The mast snapped like a twig. The sail shredded into ribbons. Wind screamed like a jet engine. Salt burned their eyes blind. They called Mayday. Nothing but static. Alone, 2,000 miles from land. The Pacific didn't care about their theory. The Pacific wanted them dead. But these men had already survived worse. Nazi torture chambers. Prison cells. Loss. This storm? This was just Tuesday. They lashed. They repaired. They endured. And in the silence after the storm, they discovered something. By day 70, the raft wasn't fighting the sea anymore. It was moving with it. Whale sharks glided below like islands. Flying fish delivered breakfast every dawn. At night, glowing trails of phosphorescence painted the sea like liquid starlight. The ocean was no longer their enemy. It was carrying them home. Day 97. Land, the Tuamotu Islands. But between them and salvation lay a final trap. Coral reefs, razor-sharp, ship-breaking stone. After 101 days at sea, the Kon-Tiki smashed apart on the reef. And yet, all 6 men staggered onto the beach alive. Thor Heyerdahl had done the impossible. The book he wrote sold 50 million copies. The film he shot on that fragile raft won an Academy Award. The scientific community changed its mind. Modern DNA testing proved he was only partly right. Polynesians came mostly from Asia, but South American contact had left its traces too. In the end, it wasn't about being perfectly correct. It was about proving that the impossible could be done. Right now, there's something in your life people say is impossible, something they laugh at, something they dismiss. Thor Heyerdahl had nothing but balsa logs, blind faith, and 6 men ready to risk everything. What's your Kon-Tiki? Drop it in the comments. Because the greatest adventures always start with someone saying, "That'll never work."